Let me ask you something. Have you ever looked around at work and thought, I'm smarter than half the people in this building, so why am I still here? You're not arrogant, you're just honest. You see people less qualified, less capable, less everything getting promoted, getting noticed, getting ahead, and you're sitting in the same chair you were sitting in 3 years ago. Same desk, same coffee mug, same ceiling towels you've been staring at since 2021. And if you're being really honest with yourself, you've asked this question late at night when you couldn't sleep. What's wrong with me? Nothing's wrong with you. That's the uncomfortable truth. You're not broken, you're not lazy, you're actually doing something that feels safe but is quietly destroying your career. Let me explain. I want you to imagine something with me for a moment. Picture a bird in a cage, but here's the thing. The door's been open for years. The bird could leave at any moment. It's healthy. It can fly. The sky's right there. But the bird stays, not because it's trapped, because somewhere along the way, the bird forgot it could leave. The cage became normal, the cage became safe, and the cage became comfortable. That's you. That's the smart person in a dead-end job. You're not stuck because you're not capable. You're stuck because you've convinced yourself that staying is safer than leaving, and your brain has built an entire fortress of reasons to keep you exactly where you are. Reasons that feel logical, reasons that feel responsible, reasons that feel absolutely correct. The economy is unstable. I need the benefits. I'll leave next year when I'm more prepared. I should finish this project first. I should wait for a better opportunity. I should get another certification first. All of these sound smart. All of them are traps. Every single one is the bird telling itself the cage is actually a good thing. The bars are nice. The food bowl is full. What if I leave and don't find another cage? But let's be honest with each other for a second. And I mean really honest. Somewhere, deep down, you know the actual reason you're still there. It's not the benefits. It's not the economy. It's not timing. It's fear. Not fear of failure. Worse, fear of success. That's the one nobody admits. Fear of leaving and discovering you actually are capable. Fear of leaving and realizing you could have done this years ago. Fear of leaving and having nobody to blame. Because when you're in a dead-end job, you have an excuse. You can say the system is rigged. You can say opportunity doesn't exist. You can say the world is unfair. But once you leave and succeed, you can't blame anyone. It's all on you. And that's terrifying. It's more terrifying than staying, because staying is familiar. Staying is comfortable. Staying means you never have to find out if you could have been more. This is what psychologists call self-handicapping. You create barriers to success so that if you fail, you have an excuse. But if you never leave, you never fail. And you never succeed either. You stay in purgatory, safe, mediocre, disappointed, but safe. Now, I want you to think about the last person you saw leave your job, the one who everyone thought was making a mistake, the one who left for something risky. Remember them? How did it turn out? Most of the time, they're doing fine. Maybe better than fine. Maybe much better. And you told yourself they got lucky. But here's what you didn't see. They weren't luckier than you. They were just more uncomfortable. They were willing to feel the discomfort you weren't willing to feel. And that discomfort, that willingness to be uncertain, is what separates people who stay from people who leave. Here's the truth. You don't need a plan. You don't need to have everything figured out. You don't need the perfect job lined up. You don't need a 5-year roadmap. You need to decide. Just decide that you're not going to spend another year in a place that's draining your energy. That's it. The plan comes after the decision, not before. Most people wait for clarity before taking action. That's backwards. You get clarity by taking action. You don't think your way into a better life. You act your way into a better life. And your brain doesn't know how to solve for something you haven't even started yet. You can't plan your way out of a dead-end job. You have to walk your way out, step by step. Let me give you a quick story. There's a guy I know, not a genius, not particularly special, average. He worked a job he hated for 8 years. 8 years. And one day, he just quit. No plan, no backup, just walked out. People thought he was insane, and for 6 months, he was terrified. He struggled, he panicked, he almost went back. But then he found something, a small opportunity. He took it. It didn't work. He took another. That one worked a little, and slowly over time he built something real. Not because he was special, because he refused to go back to the cage. Now here's the part you won't like. The pain of leaving is temporary. The pain of staying is permanent. You feel it every day. That quiet disappointment every Sunday night, that sinking feeling every Monday morning, that voice in your head that whispers, "Is this it? Is this my life?" That pain doesn't go away. It compounds. It becomes heavier. It becomes the weight you carry to bed and wake up with in the morning. And the scariest part is you've gotten used to it. You've learned to tolerate what should be intolerable. And that's the real tragedy. Not that you're in a dead-end job, but that you've taught yourself to accept it. So, what do? Where do you start? Start small. For the next week, just pay attention. Don't change anything. Just notice. Notice how you feel when you walk into work. Notice how you feel when you check your emails. Notice how you feel when you think about the next 5 years of your life. Just notice. Don't judge. Don't fix. Just observe. Because here's the thing. You can't change what you can't see. Most people don't leave their dead-end jobs because they've stopped seeing them as dead ends. They've stopped feeling the pain. They've numbed themselves to the reality of their situation. They've convinced themselves it's fine. It's not fine, and you know it's not fine. So once you start noticing, something shifts. You start seeing things you didn't want to see. And once you see them, you can't unsee them. And that's the moment. That's the moment you start to move. You don't have to quit tomorrow. You don't have to burn bridges. You don't have to make a dramatic exit. You just have to decide that staying is not your final answer. You just have to decide that this job is a chapter, not the whole book, and that chapter is ending. Here's the most important thing you need to understand. Your job doesn't define you. It's not your identity. It's not your worth. It's a transaction. You give them time, they give you money. That's it. Don't give them your soul. Don't give them your peace. Don't give them your future. Give them what they pay for and nothing more. Everything else belongs to you. And when you start thinking that way, something changes. You stop asking, what am I worth to them? And you start asking, what is this job worth to me? And when you ask that question honestly, you'll realize the answer is probably less than you think. Maybe less than you've been telling yourself. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to write this down, or at least remember it. Starting today, you are going to spend more time on your future than you spend on your job. Not during work hours, that's not what I'm saying, but you're going to invest energy outside of work, every day, a little bit, for yourself. Not for your boss, not for your company, for you. You're going to learn something new. You're going to network. You're going to explore. You're going to treat your career like it belongs to you, because it does. It always did. You just forgot. And here's what happens when you start doing that. Suddenly, your dead-end job becomes a temporary shelter, not a permanent home. You stop looking at it as your future and start looking at it as your launch pad. And the moment you stop needing your job to define you, you become free. Let me end with this. Years from now, you will not remember the meetings you sat through. You will not remember the emails you answered. You will not remember that quarterly report you stayed late to finish. You will remember the decisions you made, the risks you took, the moments you chose yourself over your fear. And you will look back at the version of you sitting in that dead-end job and you will feel one of two things: gratitude that you left, or regret that you stayed. The bird in the cage doesn't know it can fly. Not because it's weak, because it's forgotten. You haven't forgotten. You're just afraid. And that's okay. It's okay to be afraid. But don't let fear become your identity. Don't let fear become the reason you spend your one life sitting in a chair you hate, pretending it's fine, because it's not, and you know it's not. So here's my challenge to you. Not to quit your job tomorrow, but to start. Just start. Start imagining something different. Start believing you deserve something different. Start acting like someone who will leave, because that's the moment everything changes. When you start acting like the person who will eventually leave. And one day, you will. Not because you got lucky, because you decided. And smart people make good decisions. They make safe decisions. But the smartest people make brave decisions. They leave the cage and they never go back. So take a breath, look around, and ask yourself the question you've been avoiding. If I stay here one more year, what will I lose? Not what you'll gain, what will you lose? Because that's the question that changes everything. Now go think about that. And when you're ready, take the first step. It doesn't have to be big. It just has to be forward.